extraordinary new plot twist to the most famous story in history. Last Days of Jesus.
Tonight at 7 on Arizona PBS. Explore new ideas and new worlds here on Arizona PBS, a community service of Arizona State University.
Becoming a sustaining member is so easy. First, choose how much you would like to give every month. $5, $10, a level that works for you. If you would like your automatic contribution to come from your bank account, find your account number and your bank's routing number at the bottom of your checks. If you prefer to give by credit card, just have that handy when you sign up. The last step is to go to our website or give us a call. After just a couple of minutes, you'll never have to worry about renewing your membership again. And remember to ask for one of our special thank you gifts for sustaining members.
Coming up next on Arizona PBS, Life and World.
I'm Scott Pelley, anchor and managing editor of the CBS Evening News. In our changing media landscape, it is crucial for journalism education to ensure a commitment to the truth, unbiased reporting, strong ethics, unwavering fairness, and above all else, accuracy. These are the hallmarks of ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication. It's a place where students can innovate and transform the news industry while always upholding the values of the school's namesake. The Cronkite School at ASU, preparing the next generation for a stronger future of journalism.
Coming soon to Arizona PBS.
I'm Chef Mark Tarbell. Join me for a brand new episode of Check Please, Arizona. This week, our guests review 32 Shea, Cafe 8, and Bitter and Twisted Cocktail Parlor. Don't miss an all-new Check Please, Arizona, Thursday night at 7 on Arizona PBS.
From the Cronkite Studios in downtown Phoenix, this is Cronkite News.
After a methodical review, I am shutting down Tent City.
Maricopa County Sheriff Paul Penzone closes Tent City. Why he feels this is a necessary move.
Today is Equal Pay Day, and people across Arizona are bringing attention to the wage gap, how the Latina community is trying to push for equal pay.
Plus, it's Arizona Gives Day, and while today is a day of giving, Arizona is one of the least charitable states in the country.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Katie Beery.
And I'm Tyler Paley. Thanks for joining us. Tent City will be shut down. That's the word from Maricopa County Sheriff Paul Penzone just hours ago. Cronkite News reporter Alexa Stukrath was there for the news conference and joins us live from the sheriff's office. Alexa.
Sheriff Paul Penzone says he's closing Tent City after recommendations from his executive advisory committee. He says he's doing it because it's inefficient and puts the safety of detention officers and staff at risk. Cronkite News has been following this story for years and spoke to Sheriff Penzone back in January about his plans for Tent City. Today, by closing it, he plans to redirect the $4.5 million budget and the staff there to other areas of need in their county. Penzone says the facility has become inefficient.
This facility is not a crime deterrent. It is not cost efficient, and it is not tough on criminals. That may have been the intent when it was first opened and there was a need. But this facility became more of a circus atmosphere for the general public. Starting today, that circus ends and these tents come down.
The days of Arizona being a place, I hope, where people are humiliated or embarrassed or abused or ridiculed for the self-aggrandizement of anybody or anything are over. They had no place in our community. They didn't reflect our community. And we're moving on.
Penzone said that he wanted to make himself clear that the decision is not about politics and it's one that he made alone, following recommendations from his Executive Advisory Committee. He said the transfer of current inmates at Tent City will get underway as soon as possible. In downtown Phoenix, Alexa Stukrath, Cronkite News.
More than 5,000 people were homeless in Maricopa County last year, according to a recent report. That number has remained about the same for 4 years. Reporter Allison Gargaro went to see volunteers who help the homeless community.
As the sun rises on a Saturday morning, people who are homeless line up at the corner of 12th Street and Madison and are greeted with smiles. A volunteer group called Project Humanities believes each person deserves to be treated with respect.
When I got in that line this morning after getting out of cast, I was kind of sad, kind of miserable. But just put my mind on something else, you know. I'm feeling good.
The Maricopa Association of Governments has counted the number of homeless people in the area for several years.
Generally, we have about 6,000 homeless folks every year when we do our annual point-in-time count at the end of January. This gives us an indication of the overall issue of the homelessness and how we're tracking year to year.
Project Humanities hands out used clothing, shoes, and new toiletries to those in need.
The appreciation, the gratitude has just been outstanding, and it really does show this need for compassion and for empathy, but a lot for self-reflection in terms of how we look at people and make assumptions about them without really knowing their stories.
Some people have been homeless for years, but others, like Donald Barber, have become homeless only recently. They all have one thing in common: no money.
I'm in shock. I got evicted 3 weeks ago, by surprise, I might add, and I'm just trying to get housing, trying to get back to some kind of normal life.
And Project Humanities will be there to help him in the meantime. In Phoenix, Allison Gargaro, Cronkite News.
Project Humanities meets just south of Liberty Park near the state capitol every other Saturday morning, and volunteers are welcome.
Today is Equal Pay Day in the United States. It's recognized on April 4th because this is how far into the year a woman would have to work to earn what men did last year alone. Amanda Luberto is in the Broadcast Center to share what Arizona is doing to support local women.
Most people know that even in 2017, women are being paid roughly 80 cents to the male dollar, but women of color are earning even less. Latinas here in Arizona are only earning about 55 cents to the dollar. That was discussed at today's proclamation of Phoenix's involvement in Equal Pay Day.
According to the U.S. Census Bureau, Arizona women are paid 83 cents to the dollar, 3 cents above the national average. But this gap represents a loss of approximately over $7,000 per year. While most of this is systemic, Elizabeth Leon of Fuerza Local says culture plays a role as well.
You grow up with your family, your friends letting you know that, you know what, a job is enough. You don't have to ask for a raise because, you know, getting paid $35,000 a year is enough, when in reality it's not.
Fuerza Local helps Latina entrepreneurs start their business so they can be more independent. Phoenix Councilwoman Kate Gallego led the way to pass the city's Equal Pay Ordinance in 2015, tightening enforcement and increasing public education and awareness. She says that there are still major efforts to be done.
And we have really tried to make sure that all communities are included in our ordinance. So we're trying to work with groups throughout our school system and others to make sure that as early as high school women start getting that education.
When the math adds up, according to nationalpartnership.org, Arizona women on average who are full-time employees lose a combined total of nearly $13 billion each year because of the wage gap. In the Broadcast Center, Amanda Luberto, Cronkite News.
Bids to design President Donald Trump's proposed border wall were due today, but members of Congress are still debating if the wall is the best way to secure the border. Reporter Anthony Marroquin was at a Senate Homeland Security Committee hearing this morning to hear what former Customs and Border Protection leaders had to say.
Senators on both sides of the aisle agree there needs to be some sort of barrier between Mexico and the United States.
I think there's ample evidence that fencing, when put in the right places, when it's properly designed, absolutely works.
What isn't very clear is what properly designed means and whether that should be the government's first priority.
Is it more resources in terms of ICE? Is it more technology? Is it some sections of wall and maybe some sections of fencing?
The question rose from President Donald Trump's call for a continuous solid wall along the southwest border. But former acting commissioner of U.S. Customs and Border Protection, David Aguilar, said that's only part of the problem. Priority should not be limited to the wall.
It is technology. And depending on where you go from there, it is infrastructure and personnel.
Aguilar said current fencing is a tremendous and necessary asset to Border Patrol agents, but that border security is not a cookie-cutter problem. The solution should come from listening to the officers on the front lines.
Address the border, the needs of the border, the needs of the Border Patrol as identified by the current chiefs in the field.
Still, experts say a physical barrier is not something that should be put off or forgotten about.
If what it does is acquire the capability to allow people to sleep safely in their homes at night, then if it takes that one more expensive piece, then spend it.
What shape the wall takes and the amount of funding for it will be decided later this year when Congress votes on its budget. Until then,
like the rest of America, we're all watching to see.
In Washington, Anthony Marroquin, Cronkite News.
At least 10 Arizona companies submitted a bid for the design of the wall. We'll keep you updated on their status in the weeks to come. And immigration arrests at the Mexican border are down. Head of Homeland Security John Kelly says fewer than 12,500 people were caught crossing the border last month. In February, more than 58,000 people were detained. Last month was the lowest monthly number in 17 years.
The presidential election is nearly 5 months behind us, and Democrats are still trying to pick up the pieces. Trevor Fay takes a look at how the party is re-energizing itself at the local level.
This is the Tempe classroom where the ASU Young Democrats meet on a weekly basis. Jesse Avalos is the vice president of the club. Their goal? Get more young people involved.
In recent meetings, we have brought the interim chair, Donna Brazil, for the DNC, and we brought her to talk about exactly what the Democratic Party needs to do, especially after this election. For the future, we have planned basically making sure we canvass for this next 2018 elections that are coming up.
Despite losses at the national level, the Democrats have actually been doing well here in Maricopa County. They've won elections for the county recorder's office as well as the county sheriff's office, and the chair of the Maricopa County Democratic Party, Stephen Slagowski, sat down with me today to discuss the importance of winning elections not only in the 2018 midterms, but also right now in 2017.
We've got to win the school boards. We've got to win the city councils first. We've got to get the building blocks. We've got to build up our bench to make sure that we're ready for the races coming up down the road. This is not a one election process. It's going to take multiple elections to do what we want to do, which is turn Arizona blue.
Chuck Coughlin, president of the consulting firm High Ground, sees demographics and voter turnout as the largest hurdles for Democrats to clear in order to start winning back lost seats across the state and country.
I think it's a demographic question that they've been struggling with, and how to keep and identify voters and get them to the polls that are non-traditional voters and people who may not have identified with the Democratic Party.
According to Coughlin, one of the difficulties in a party gaining new ground is how voting districts are drawn. With the current boundaries, the majority of state districts are safe because they are filled with people who typically vote all one way or the other, effectively determining the outcome of most elections before they begin. In Phoenix, Trevor Fay, Cronkite News.
Coughlin says he's not hopeful that party politics will change anytime soon, because in order for that to happen, party leaders would have to be willing to surrender some influence for the sake of competitive elections.
Fixing a toaster isn't rocket science, so why is an aerospace engineer volunteering to do just that?
Coming up on Cronkite News, how this pop-up repair cafe is giving tinkerers a side job and reducing waste at the same time.
Plus, deliveries just got more sustainable. Why UPS is using alternative methods to fuel their trucks.
I think I finally found my hallelujah. I've been waiting for this moment all my life now. All my dreams are coming true, yeah. I've been waiting for this moment. about now. Good, 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 good to be alive right about now. Good, 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 good to be alive right about now. Hallelujah, let that bass line move. It's good to be alive right about now. I think I finally found right about now.
The concept is simple. If it's broken, don't throw it away. Fix it. Cronkite News reporter Chantel Del Aguila shows us how one community is reducing landfill by saving the life of everyday items.
When we get a hole in our shirt or a wire becomes loose, usually we throw it away. But that's not the case here at Pasadena's Repair Cafe, where anyone can bring in what's broken and have it repaired by tinkerers and seamstresses.
Really use the resources that we have to create value for ourselves and for our own community.
The European concept of Repair Cafe was to fix basic household items, but Therese Brummel brought it to her hometown with a bigger purpose in mind.
This is the whole concept of Repair Cafe here in Pasadena, which is to build local community, emphasis on local.
The pop-up cafe is open to the public about 10 times a year. News travels by word of mouth, volunteers bring their own tools, and venues donate their space.
You only take what you need, and you give back when you can. I think that the whole idea of Repair Cafe means less stuff goes to the dump.
To the average person, these gadgets can be challenging, but for aerospace engineer Peter Chang, it's a walk in the park.
A lot of these things are designed specifically not to be repaired, but in comparison to spacecraft, they're pretty simple.
It just helps with your basic budget to not always have to be buying new stuff.
Not every item can be repaired, but their goal in bringing community members together is accomplished every time.
We're trying to change the world one repair at a time.
In Pasadena, Chantel Del Aguila, Cronkite News.
We checked with the Repair Cafe organization. They're popping up in places like Seattle, Chicago, and the Washington, D.C. area, but so far, no locations in Arizona. Any local tinkerers are encouraged to contact the group to start a cafe of their own.
UPS is investing $90 million to expand their alternative fuel stations and vehicles. Cronkite News reporter Janie Hoyt has details and tells us the benefits of alternative fuel.
UPS recently announced plans to reduce their environmental footprint by adding 6 new compressed natural gas fueling stations across the country, along with 390 new CNG vehicles and 50 liquefied natural gas trucks.
We have invested over $700 million of UPS money in the entire alternative fuel fleet.
According to experts, CNG fuel and other alternative fuels are much more environmentally friendly than the gas we put in our cars.
It has a lower carbon footprint than diesel fuel, and it can lead to a great deal of renewable natural gas use.
Mike Castile says UPS has been using natural gas as a fuel for decades, but started expanding more in recent years, partly because natural gas costs less than diesel fuel. Phoenix is also no stranger to alternative fuels. In fact, the city of Phoenix plans to expand their CNG garbage trucks.
We're hoping to each year add a few more as the old diesels age out, as we call it, and they're replaced. We'd like to replace as many as we can with CNG till we get about 80%.
Jonathan Kellman, a sustainability instructor at ASU, agrees that the use of alternative fuel is a step in the right direction, but it's not a saving grace.
It puts out less NOx, nitrogen oxides, which are what form ground level ozone. Versus gas or diesel. It's not going to save the world, but it's a little bit better.
UPS says they do not plan to completely replace their diesel trucks just yet, but they will continue to expand into the natural gas market. In Phoenix, Janie Hoyt, Cronkite News.
UPS already operates 31 fueling stations in 15 U.S. states. Arizona is one of them.
Well, Katie, summer is almost here, meaning kids are getting ready to head to camp.
Coming up on Cronkite News, a Girl Scout Leadership Center gets a new and sustainable makeover.
It's 79 degrees and sunny here in Phoenix, but when will we see temperatures in the 90s? I have your full forecast coming up.
Heaven knows you're a dreamer. Don't hide it from anyone. Don't hide it from anyone. Hey, would you believe me if I said we are here for a reason now? This is our life. This is what counts. This is for us. I will go anywhere for you.
Feeling generous? Today, Arizonans are encouraged to donate to nonprofits and charities across the state during the 24-hour Arizona Gives Day. This is the 5th Arizona Gives Day organized by the Alliance of Arizona Nonprofits and sponsored by First Bank. So far, they've raised over $1 million, but a recent Wallet Hub study ranked Arizona as one of the least charitable states in the U.S. The organizers and nonprofits collecting donations believe it's important to give back to the community.
It helps you feel more connected to your home. If you are spending your money with businesses that you know, rather than those that aren't here and don't even have any decision making on the ground in Arizona, you're going to feel more connected to place.
They're doing the critical work in our communities, some of the work that maybe sometimes we forget about when we're going about our day-to-day, and it's so important that we don't forget about them.
The nonprofit sector contributes $22.4 million to Arizona's economy, according to Arizona Nonprofit Impact. The majority of their revenue comes from service fees and contracts. The Alliance of Arizona Nonprofits hopes to raise more than the $2.8 million they raised last year.
It's a new leadership center for Girl Scouts, and it helps the environment. Reporter McKenna Delgarno took a tour of the new facility that incorporates sustainability.
The Bob and Renee Parsons Leadership Center for Girls and Women is a year-round camping facility for Girl Scouts. It aims to give back to the community.
It really stemmed from our desire to increase our capacity to serve girls, the ones that we currently serve, and then new girls in the community.
It includes activity centers, an archery range, and 15 cabins that sleep up to 10 people. More than 900 troops, leaders, and volunteers had the chance to give their input on what they wanted to see.
The biggest thing that they wanted was they wanted the facility to be green and to respect the natural desert landscape that was already here.
Marlene Emerzian, the architect for the center and a former Girl Scout, did just that.
We made very simple ways that the cabins are suspended above the ground, so the water pours down South Mountain like it always has.
The cabins were also designed so that when it rains, the water pours off and onto the surrounding plants. As for going green, the walls are made up of 80% of recycled material. Jessica Lyon with the Girl Scouts Arizona Cactus Pine Council says they hope this camping facility will help girls who don't have experience with camping by offering 2-day overnight camps. She says this is important for young girls.
So one of the things this facility does, and I think it really reinforces for girls, their importance, their worthiness, that this space is just for them.
Camp sessions will begin this summer. In Phoenix, McKenna Delgarno, Cronkite News.
If you want to register your child or become a volunteer, visit girlscoutsaz.org. And Katie, summer is approaching and so are those hotter temperatures.
I can literally feel it in the air, but what do you think, Allison?
It's a beautiful 79 degrees and sunny today, but wind speeds are definitely down from yesterday. Today, we're just seeing 5 to 10 mile per hour winds. Across the state right now, we're seeing pretty normal temperatures for this time of year. The normal temperature in Phoenix is 80 degrees and we're at 78 right now. It's 48 up in the Grand Canyon and Flagstaff, and we're seeing 85 degrees in Yuma. And we are also seeing 70s across the valley. We see 79 degrees in Surprise, 80 in Glendale, and 79 right here in Phoenix. And for the rest of your work week, temperatures will be getting up into the 90s. Look at this, 92 degrees on Thursday and Friday with partly sunny skies, and it will drop down to 85 degrees on Saturday and 78 for your Sunday. Allison Gargaro, Cronkite Weather.
March Madness is officially over.
And UNC is the new champion. Coming up on Cronkite News, how will the Final Four continue to impact the Valley in the future?
All right. All right. There's something wrong with this plot. The actors here have not got a clue.
Fascinating.
Baby, I'm howling for you.
You know, sometimes I wish I wasn't so beloved.
Mockingbird, can't you see? Little girl got a hold on me like wow. Baby, I'm howling for you.
It's literally one for the history books.
Enjoy.
How about Carolina? The new national champion Tar Heels celebrated their victory last night in downtown Phoenix. The Tar Heels beat Gonzaga 71-65. Season came to a close with the North Carolina Tar Heels claiming their 6th national championship in the NCAA title game at the University of Phoenix Stadium. And maybe the only person more excited than Tar Heel fans was Phoenix Mayor Greg Stanton.
We love to host these big events. We like to be the #1 host city in the United States of America with the best hospitality.
Today, the city of Phoenix began its teardown process at the Phoenix Convention Center and Margaret T. Hance Park to wrap up what officials have called the busiest weekend in downtown Phoenix history. Dawn Rogers, the executive director of the Phoenix Local Organizing Committee, said the weekend went off as smoothly as she had hoped.
It was fun to watch people get excited about college basketball, and I personally think that Saturday night's games are the best in all of sports. The atmosphere that's in the stadium, having 4 teams come together to determine who will play for the national championship, and to have it here in Phoenix meant, so much.
The event also marked the end of the Valley's 3-year run of hosting championship events. The Super Bowl was here in 2015, the college football playoff national championship game last year, and the Final Four this year. Phoenix Mayor Greg Stanton isn't done, though. He wants the city to remain a mecca for major events.
If you can host events of the highest magnitude, sporting events, it also begets other mega event opportunity. There is no doubt in my mind that our community will be the host of either the Democratic political convention or the Republican political convention over the next few years. We've shown that we can host massive crowds, and we can do logistics, and we can do safety as well, if not better than anyone.
Tonight, the Valley can rest, recover, and reflect on its unprecedented 3-year run. And while nothing is set in stone as of now, Stanton's hopes are high for the future.
Cronkite News is proud to be the news division of Arizona PBS. Here's what's coming up on Arizona Horizon in the PBS NewsHour.
On the next Arizona Horizon, we'll hear about efforts to improve access to justice in the state, and we'll learn how plant root bacteria can help increase crop yields even during drought.
I'm John Yang. On the next NewsHour, would cameras in the classroom better protect special needs students and their teachers? We'll take a look Tuesday on the PBS NewsHour.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us.
For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
After Jesus came to Jerusalem, he was crucified. But new evidence has revealed that a battle for control between Rome's most powerful men may have led directly to the killing of Christ. Discover the extraordinary new plot twist to the most famous story in history. Last Days of Jesus.
Tonight at 7 on Arizona PBS. Explore new ideas and new worlds here on Arizona PBS, a community service of Arizona State University.
Hi, I'm Amy Brenneman. My family and I are enthusiastic fans of public media. Public television and radio strengthen our democracy. They educate our children and empower us all to be lifelong learners. Each PBS and NPR station is a local nonprofit organization committed to the local community. Public media belongs to you and me. It's up to us to protect this essential national treasure. Information on how you can help is found at protectmypublicmedia.org.
Coming up next on Arizona PBS, Life and World.
Officially from 36, and he hooks it in. Arizona State wins. Keeping one deep, and it is caught. Dylan Strong, do you believe?
Coming soon to Arizona PBS.
Youth and beauty, both are dust.
Thousands of high school students across Arizona compete annually in the recitation of poetry.
The voices and the images of the living fade away.
Join us for this year's Poetry Beat as the 10 finalists compete for the title of Arizona State Champion. Don't miss Arizona Poetry Out Loud. Friday night at 9:30 on Arizona PBS.
Hi, I'm Alberto Rios. This week on Books